Now we'll switch gears. The other question we had was thunderstorm frequency.
Ooh, this is fun.
Why do we normally see thunderstorms either later in the day or early in the morning? So what we did is harnessing the power of AI. We took literally hundreds of thousands of observations from the Quad City International Airport. They log observations about every 15 minutes. We took every one of those since about the late 1980s, put them into AI, and I said, make a heat map. And I want you to show me with the hottest colors, when does that airport...
I know, sorry, I'm kind of geeking out right now. That is so cool.
It was really neat to see that. So you can see there's two clusters there, but there's kind of this middle.
Yeah.
So the time is on the left-hand side of your screen. So it's right around lunchtime when we're the quietest, typically. But we get this surge early in the morning and then another surge late at night that comes with this. So that was really interesting to see, and I wasn't surprised. And if you're curious the reason why, well, think about the ingredients that you have to get storms to build. Obviously, the most heat's in the afternoon.
Yes. Yes. You get the most heat. Heat means storm energy. You get the most juice, like we like to call it, for sure. Early morning, I'm going to have to say it has to do with temperature change at that point, right?
I was going to say temperature differences.
Yeah, because temperature differences drives winds and all that stuff, which wind shear is another big factor to a storm ingredient, which wind shear is the change in wind direction and speed with height. So if it starts to rotate, you start to get a little more, kind of adds to the energy of everything, which I feel like you kind of start to see in those early morning hours because not only, because you have to think about geographically, you know, once the sun starts to set, if you have like, you know, if it's colder, just a little slightly north, but a lot warmer, and we start to build in a little more moisture, you kind of get those fighting air masses a little more during the overnight hours.
I think that, like you said, the geography too, typically these late night, early morning storms are coming from something that develops, say, in western or eastern Nebraska into western Iowa. So it's got to take time for those to move and travel overnight, and they typically arrive here first thing in the morning.
That would make sense.
Oftentimes as well.
So yeah, I would say it's a different dynamics that you're dealing with, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, it was neat to see the graph.
Yes.
Just how it kind of split.
It is very neat.
I know.
Interesting. Because we typically kind of say, like, you know, morning meteorologists don't really kind of miss out on the fun of early. But, you know, I will say there's been many mornings where I've woken up and I'm like, whoa, we've had to, you know, completely cut off GMQC and be like, we got to go into wall to wall right now. Like, we got tornado warnings happening. So that makes complete sense. It's definitely, I would say, more so likely in the evenings. I mean, regardless.